Hi, welcome back to AutoReview, and this is the Fiat 500 Lounge. I was waiting for years to drive finally one of them. I fell in love with the original Fiat 500, which you might know or you might not. Google it if you don't. And when they announced this one, I was following through the stage of the design until they released it. And believe it or not, I had to wait 10 years to get my hands on this one. So finally I have it here. This one comes in Dubai as one engine choice, or actually two, but the standard engine of this is a 1.4 liter producing 100 horsepower and 131 newton meters of torque. Fuel consumption, I had it approximately 7.5-8 liters, and I was driving in the sport mode. I'll tell you more about the sport mode when we're driving. And I love the car from the looks. It drives nice to a certain extent. I'll tell you about as well when we drive. It has some issues that you have to compromise if you want this car, here in the UAE at least. Or you opt for the more sporty version, which I'll let you know as well. However, it is a beautiful car. You get a lot of looks here in Dubai, but it's not a fast car. It's not something that I would recommend driving between cities if you do like the Dubai Abu Dhabi ride or on a daily basis. This is a city car, even though it has a more powerful engine than we have in Europe. But enough of that. Let me show you the interior and then we drive. Alright, so the 500 from inside, and as you can see, the outside design, the beautiful design from outside is just continued inside as well. We have this one in this really amazing looking two-tone leather with the beige, kind of cream on top, and the red on the bottom, as well as the red on the side. So you have leather on the side, you have leather on the seats. You have a back row, which surprisingly is really big in regards to how small the car from outside is. I was able to drive with 4 people in this car, and we did it for a long turn. We did like 50 kilometers in one go, and we have no problems whatsoever. You see this beautiful design. We have the 500, which goes all around the car. We have it in the back, on the side, in the car. Here we have it stepped into the seats. So the whole design is really a beauty. Problem, quick one with this one is, as you can see, this is this cream leather. You see already here, and the car is now 3,500 kilometers, so maybe a few weeks old. You see already, people, when you don't wash your hands or you don't drive with gloves, you're gonna have the steering wheel coloring, and this particular as well. However, it looks amazing if you take care of the car. If you have it detailed once in a while, I think it will be really beautiful. Then I have a lot of space. I have really a lot of space, and I'm 184 tall. You see, I'm kind of close to the roof. However, we can close the shade. We can open the sunroof. We can fully open it as well, which is really nice. I like that one. And if you're interested, you can get this one as well as a convertible. So basically the entire roof goes to the back and then even folds down further. The pillars, however, will remain. Then what do we have? The glove box is not closed, it's an open field. We have a little compartment here on the side. We have a little one here on the side on the left. Electric windows operated through the center console. However, only this one is auto down and auto up. The passenger is only auto down, it doesn't go automatically up. Let me show you quickly how to get in the bag, and then the boot, which is surprisingly big as well for this size of car, and then we can drive. Okay, so how do we get in? Little latch here, we move it forward, and then you just hop in. Okay, you see, this is a little issue because I'm quite tall, so I can fit my head here. However, let's just close this one. Okay, this one is adjusted now to me, so you can see it's quite tight. Sorry for the fly. It likes the car as much as I do, I guess. I can't sit here. Not really comfortable. At least not behind the driver of my size. However, I had 2 friends of mine sitting here. They were like 165, 170, and they had no issue whatsoever. If the passenger just moved a little bit forward, I could even sit here. Obviously, the car is only registered for 4. You don't have a seat in the middle, and you don't have a headrest as well. However, it's very comfortable as well. And as I said, surprisingly, for adults that are not too tall, you'll have enough space. One thing I have to mention before I forget it, unfortunately you cannot adjust the height of the seat belts for the driver and passenger. But enough of that, let me show you the boot. Okay, so the Fiat 500 from the back. Before we go to the redesign, you can see the roof is open. This is how it looks when the roof is open. So the entire glass slides on top up to the antenna. So in the back you can see it's very compact. This is where the seats end, and this is where the bumper ends. So you have approximately this much space between the rear of the car and the people sitting in the back. Then the Fiat logo in the on top, the 500 on the bottom, and all chrome design. The one exhaust on the left side looks a bit sporty, and when you open it, actually it opens quite high. And surprisingly, I have to say, this boot is bigger than I expected, because I fit all my equipment inside without any problems. I once drove the, what was that? The Suzuki Celerio or Suzuki Alto, and had less space than this car, as well as seating-wise less than this one. You can fold the seats 50-50, so you can fold this one or this one down or all together. You have a full spare wheel on the bottom, weight saving here on the right, and enough talking, let's drive. So, let's drive the 500 and see how it is. Okay, first thing, watch this. Okay, you saw that, right? I'm gonna mention it in a moment. So that was one thing. Every time it shifts, it does this. And this is the other thing that is kind of annoying. And the problem is, it doesn't stop. It will continue beeping until you run out of fuel or until you go below 115 again. So this is 120 and above, it will beep forever. And once you go down to 115 and below, it will stop. So these are the two major things that I don't like about this car. This is called dual logic transmission, something like that. Doesn't have any logic to me. Doesn't have any logic to me. It is a 5-speed automatic with a very different setup of gears. You can put it in manual, then it will not shift for you. You can put it in auto, then it will shift for you. Reverse is there, and you can shift here over the pedals on the steering wheel, which is nice. Gives it a bit more sporty character. But it doesn't give me the drive that I would like to have, just purely because it's an automatic. I don't have anything against automatic if they're 5 or 6 speed. I prefer 6. However, not if they are like doing like this every time you shift towards the car, or actually, so it's not always doing that. It's only doing this when you accelerate fast and you rev it high, and then you see now I was revving it, I was shifting it around 2,500–3,000 RPM. It's fine, it will not do that. However, if you want to drive sporty, it will do that, and that is kind of annoying. Now, I mentioned it's 1.4, 100 horsepower. The engine size, the 1.4 liter capacity is good. That means this engine will most probably run longer than the car, maybe, you know. The 100 horsepower is good as well, but again, because of transmission, it just doesn't work as harmoniously as it could. So I would always recommend take a manual, but we don't have the manuals available here. Now, there is an Abarth version of this 500 available, which is the Abarth, I think it's 595 Competizione Maserati or Edizione Maserati, which is, hold on, 220,000 dirham. Wow, that's 44,000 euro. However, this thing is limited to 499 pieces in the world. Has a Maserati paint, Maserati designed rims, and all these other gimmicks. And it's obviously a much more powerful one. It's producing, I think, 180 horsepower. 180 horsepower. So this one is available in Europe, for example, in the same trim and everything like that, and costs nearly as much as this one here. The price for this is 78,000 dirham. If you would like to have the same car in the lounge edition here, with a convertible, basically the entire roof goes back and then down, with the glass as well, it's I think it's 92, or I think they have an offer at the moment 89. So 78, 89, and 220,000. So what do I think about this one then? Okay, I love the design. I always loved it since the beginning. I fell in love with this design. I love the way it looks from an interior as well. I like the 500. I love this painted applications here, the same color as outside. It looks amazingly beautiful with this two-tone leather with the red and the cream, and the 500 here as well. However, the issue is, as you've seen, the steering wheel is cream color, and it's already colored from touching it, and the car is now 3,500 kilometers down. So you can't imagine how it looked like in 1 or 2 or 3 years. So maybe white wouldn't be, or cream wouldn't be the best color for the steering wheel. Then the dashboard, everything is very clear. AC works pretty good. The buttons for the for the windows in the center console, left and right of the gear knob. It's automatic on the left, up and down, automatic down but not up on the passenger side. We have electric mirrors. We have the sunroof, which has a sunshade. However, as you can see, it's not fully dark, so it will let light through. You can open it. You can open it fully, which is always very nice. I like sunroofs. Let's close it up because it's gonna be too loud. It's a nice feature. I like that. Then space-wise in the back, I was actually surprised. As I said, I could not sit in the back, not behind myself at least. However, I could sit behind the passenger if that person moves a bit to the front, and that is okay. Boot space is surprisingly big as well for the small car. But you've seen as well, if you're safety conscious, you don't have much of a room between the bumper and the back row. So maybe that's why we don't see so many here on the road, in addition to the price. Then the glove box is open. It has space, but it's open, so you shouldn't leave any valuables there, which otherwise people would see. We have 4 cup holders in the middle, in the back, with a little ashtray here, and a little compartment here, as well as a little compartment here for like keys or something, as well as one on the left. So that's pretty much it of the practical side. Now, how does it feel driving this car? As I said, performance-wise, it's actually sufficient. This one is a big engine compared to Europe. In Europe, we have this twin air engine, which is 0.9 liter in capacity, and it's like 69-ish horsepower or something like that. So not really a lot. As well as 105 horsepower one, but it's only a 1 liter as well, turbo, and 2 diesel engines. So obviously here we don't have that, as well as the Abarth versions. Sorry. And honestly, my recommendation would be go for the Abarth. Get a manual transmission, which would be a 5-speed as well, but don't go for the Maserati edition, which, I mean, if you have the money, go ahead, but I think the regular one would be very good as well, and it's producing 135, 140 horsepower, and then if you go for the better spec ones, it's 160 horsepower. 160 horsepower, and this little rocket here will be joy to drive, I can tell you that. So that's really, really awesome. Again, design-wise, it's beautiful. Interior, exterior is beautiful. I really love it. It's easy to park, and when I was driving it through Dubai, and you know, Dubai is a city of supercars, hypercars, and all these things, you don't see many of them. And when people look at this car, they smile. They like it. They think it's a nice design, and it's a positive vibe that you're spreading driving this car. So I like driving this car, despite having this dual logical transmission, whatever you call this. It's an automatic thing. If you're a bit taller person like me, just keep in mind, I'm 184 by the way, you can fit here, so this isn't the problem. However, blind spot, if you have to look over your shoulder to the left, you'll see the pillow only. That is a bit annoying. For, as I said, a bit taller person. If you're a bit smaller, you'll move to the front, it will not affect you as much. One more thing, keep in mind, the steering wheel, you can only adjust it up, you cannot push it towards you, or pull it towards you. That's pretty much it, I would say. So from my side, this car is something like the Beetle, something like the Mini. It's a lifestyle car. It's not something that you buy because you need a car. It's something because you want a car. Because spending 78,000 dirham for a little city car, which this is what it basically is, you could get a much bigger car for that money here in Dubai. Bigger car, more horsepower, more things. So it's really a choice of I want this car instead of I need a car. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, share it, comment below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Check out my Facebook as well to see the pictures, detailed pictures of the 500, and have a great day. Cheers, bye.